Hello and welcome to the One Life Church devotional series where we cover the entire Bible in 20 months. Well, today's chapters are Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. In Ecclesiastes 9, we look at God's purpose for our lives. And Ecclesiastes 10, we look at fools, the way that fools live. Fools have been around for thousands of years, and Solomon obviously had met a few. Now, I'm down here in Cape Town. This is one of my first favorite places to be, down at the beach here. And it's a very exciting day today. We headed with all the pastors here off to Durbanville. We're going to be planting a new congregation out there and trying to explore something of God's plans, His purposes for us down here in the Western Cape. Now, Ecclesiastes 9 probes the purposes of God and says, you and I are going to die one day. That's the first 4 verses. The certainty is we're going to die. So we've got a very short space of time, and that's what we're living our lives in that little short space of time. We don't like that. And what people try to do, verse 5 and 6 says, to extend our lives and to live them more fully. So like squeeze the most out we can out of the short days that we're here. And then also, obviously, with medicine, with ducking from danger, etc., trying to prolong our days to last as long as we can here while we're here on earth. But the basic question that's being probed in this chapter in Ecclesiastes is how we should live given that God has a plan, given that God is in charge. And so as you read this, I'm going to encourage you, read Ecclesiastes 9 with this question in mind. And so this is what the world is like, so what's God's plan for me? This is what the world is like, so how should I live? And so the conclusion we come to in the Gospels is that we don't try and get meaning out of life by subtracting all the bad things out and adding more good things in. No, meaning in life is found in Jesus Himself. And that's what Solomon pushes you to understand as you look at the meaningless around Ecclesiastes 9. Now, Ecclesiastes 10, he rolls up the fools that are around him. The folly that's around him. This is what he says. Young fools become old fools. Just because, you're older doesn't mean you've left your foolish ways behind you. Number 2, verse 7 says, fools follow fools. You become like the company you keep. You imitate the wrong people, you become like them. Fools follow fools. Verse 8 and 9 says that fools don't assess risk. They don't scope ahead, they don't look ahead in terms of their investments, in terms of who they're friends with, in terms of where they're putting their lives. Number 4, fools don't plan. That's verse 10. Fools don't plan. They just take life as it comes. Number 5, fools sometimes plan, but they don't execute. I think they're just dreamers. And he says, actually, you're a fool if you haven't heard God, looked at what God says, plan it out, and run at it. That's what Solomon is saying. Fools don't seek counsel. They think that their intellect or their creativity or their past experience sets them up for success. Actually, it's in the company of many counselors. When you seek out wise people, that you yourself walk a wise road. That's what he's saying. Fools are lazy, verse 15 and 18 says. And number 8, fools don't know the value of money. Now, you might say, well, Grant, money, why is he bringing money into... No, actually, your money is a reward, and it's a summary of your investment during the week. So someone who just flits his money away is like saying, well, I'm just going to flit my whole week away. That's basically what he's saying. Fools are careless with their words. I was doing a counseling session yesterday with a father and a son-in-law. And the way they were speaking to each other, I couldn't believe it. The carelessness with which the words were coming and the barbs that were landing in each other's hearts as their careless words found their mark. It says fools, careless with their words. Fools can also sometimes be so cautious that they miss life altogether. It's foolish to sit and think that I've got to sit in my corner in case the world collapses around me. He says, no. And so what is chapter 10 pushing us to? It's pushing us to ask where wisdom comes from. Now, we know that in 1 Corinthians, Christ is the wisdom of God. So if you want wisdom, push into Jesus. A life buried in Him, set in Him, taken from Him, that's wisdom. If Solomon had been sitting that side of the cross, he would have said, folly, 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 folly. But Jesus is the wisdom of God.